What are you doing?
What? Oh, I'm just practicing with the new warrior ring.
Do you have to hit the bongos?
Well, what else am I gonna hit with it? Come on.
Can we just start the video?
What? Are you? Oh God, the camera's on, isn't it? Oh, come on. Can I practice somewhere? Seriously, this is getting ridiculous. What's going on, guys? Sean and Kelly here, and we are back with a new video in our Black Friday video series. And in this one, we are going to be talking about the brand new Warrior X3, which is the upgraded version of the super popular Warrior X Pro. This light features, of course, performance improvements and a ton of improvements to the actual design as well, with some added features.
So in this video, we're going to take a look at the performance upgrades and the added features of the Warrior X3 and how you guys can get yours at a great discount today and tomorrow only. But before we jump into all of that, let's go ahead and give one away in the color of your choice. All you guys need to do to enter is subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave us a comment below on what your favorite feature of the Warrior X3 is.
These are absolutely awesome, guys, so let's get into it. Now let's start off by talking about the technical specifications. And in the case of the Warrior X3, it is awesome. So this one has 2,500 lumens compared to the 2,100 lumens on the previous Warrior X Pro. This also has a 560 meter beam distance compared to the 500 meter beam distance on the Warrior X Pro. This also has a 78,000 candela rating, whereas the Warrior X Pro has 62,500. So this is drastically better on all performance metrics, and I'm really glad to see that.
Now, touching on those performance upgrades, this is no slouch when it comes to that turbo mode either. Even with 400 extra lumens, this is going to run for 2.5 minutes at that 2,500 lumen turbo setting, compared to the Warrior X Pro that had 2,100 lumens only for 2 minutes. Now, after that turbo drop down, both lights are going to hit 1,000 lumens, but the Warrior X3 is going to run for 129 minutes compared to 100 on the Warrior X Pro.
It's really cool to see better run times and higher lumens on a flashlight that has the same battery as the previous version. So they both have a 5,000 milliamp 21700 battery. So how is this getting better run times and better performance? Well, it's frankly just a more efficient design. The PCB board has been drastically improved. We've got a better LED in here as well, and the heat dissipation has been improved by these better designed heat sinks as well. So there's a lot going on this light, but it's really great to see added run times and added performance out of a light that's actually about the same size as the previous one.
Okay, so we threw a lot of words at you. Let's shut the lights off and take a look at a beam comparison between the new Warrior X3 and the Warrior X Pro so you guys can see just how good it is.
Let's now do a quick performance comparison between the previous Warrior X Pro and the brand new Warrior X3. So first I'm going to show the Warrior X Pro, and I'm going to tap it there on that 300 lumen low mode. Now the first thing that you're going to see is that this is a very neutral style tone. It's a lot more yellow looking, definitely compared to the Warrior X3 and some other long distance lights in our lineup. So the actual tint is drastically different with this Warrior X Pro. Now if I jump up to the high setting right here at that 2100 lumens, you're going to get still that really defined center hotspot, but as you can see, there actually is some nice spill going on the outside of that center hotspot. So it's nice to see that not only is it a thrower style beam, but you are getting some spill on there, and I think that's part of the reason why the Warrior X Pro is so popular. Now let's go ahead and jump over to the Warrior X3. So I'm going to pop this on in the low mode, and look how much more of a cool white beam that is. The tint is drastically different. Hopefully the camera's picking up how different this is, because this is by far much cooler of a white compared to the Warrior X Pro. Now let me jump back over to the Warrior X Pro. Look at that right there, guys. You see that at the 300 lumens? I'm gonna bounce it over to the Warrior X3. Look how much more of a cool white beam that is. That is drastically different. Now, looking at that center hotspot, it does look like it even has a little bit more candela. It's a little bit brighter there in the center, and then you're still getting that nice spill around the outside there, and you can see the very edge of that spill as I kind of rotate this beam around. Now let's go ahead and jump over to the high mode, that 2500 lumens, and again, it's just a much more intense beam there in that center hotspot, guys. You're getting a lot more going on here with that spill as well, considering that the candela is much higher, so you will be receiving more spill compared to the Warrior X Pro. So you're getting a little bit bigger hotspot, definitely a cool white, more intense hot spot, and then a little bit bigger of a spill. But I think the biggest thing that you're gonna notice if you have a Warrior X Pro and you go with a Warrior X3 is that change in the tint. You're going from a very neutral white to a cool white right here. So keep that in mind, but it's a nice worthy upgrade with that cooler white tint and that higher intensity at the hotspot and the larger spill.
So now that you saw how great the Warrior X3 is compared to the Warrior X Pro, let's head over to the tabletop and unbox them so you guys know exactly what you're getting when you order yours and take an up-close look at the added features.
Let's quickly unbox the new Warrior X3. You can see here from the packaging, super professional, just like honestly all Olight products. I'm always blown away by just the quality of the packaging, and these are no exception. So right here we have the black version and the OD green, and in the picture right here you can see the Warrior ring, so you can fit your finger in there. Really nice setup, and those rings are actually made out of metal, which is what I like to see. We've got new glass breaker on the front. There's a lot going on with these, so let's get into them. Let's start with the black version, and let's open this up with my new Parrot pocket knife, which is another offering we have during the sale, so I would suggest checking those out because they're a great value. So here in the front, we're gonna have a few disclaimers. First thing right here is we want to remove the little film in between the tail cap and the battery. That ensures that the light will actually turn on. We do that for shipping purposes to keep it safe. Also, you want to go ahead and charge up the light when you first get it. Due to shipping regulations, we can't ship them out with a full battery, so I'd highly suggest topping off that battery before you go out and use it. And then also you can take off the little Warrior ring if you don't want to use it, and I'll show you how to do that. Here we have a little thank you note on the packaging, really nice there. So let's get into it. So there's a ton of accessories in here. We have the really nice holster right here. It's got two different ways you can put it in your belt. You can either feed it through, or you can use this little button Velcro section here, or you can actually hang it from a bag. And let's pull the light out. So it already has the little ring on there, but the first thing that we want to do, just like the directions say, is to remove this little yellow film. Now let's go ahead and jump into the accessories. So right here we're going to have the charging cable, so we'll pull that one out. This is going to be the MCC3 smart charging cable. So this goes all the way up to 2 amps. And I would suggest, with having a battery that's 21700, 5000 milliamps, to plug this into a larger wall adapter, something that has a lot of power, in order to charge this up quickly. Now let's go into some more accessories that we have. So we've got the standard grip ring right there, if you don't like the Warrior ring. And then we also will have the user manual. So that's pretty much all we have, guys. You can choose between these two rings right there. You got your charging cable, the battery is already inside the light, and then you have your nice holster. So let's go ahead and swap out these rings just to show you how easy it is. So I'm going to just take the tail cap off, and I'm going to take my 2 fingers right here, and I'm just going to slide that off. And then I can take this other one, press it down, and then put the tail cap back on. And there you go. So This is really simple to swap these out. It's really personal preference. You might use them in different situations. So sometimes you might use this, sometimes you might use that. It's really up to you, but that should show you how easy it is to swap it out. Now let's go ahead and jump over to the OD green version, by far my favorite. So let's open up the box. It's going to be the same accessories for you, so nothing's actually going to be different on that. So we're getting the same holster right there. It's going to come with the Warrior ring already on the light. Of course, you want to remove the little insert there with the battery, just like I did with the other one. Really, the only difference is the grip ring right here is actually going to be green instead of black like on this black version. But keep in mind that the Warrior ring right here is still black. I wanted to show this comparison because some of you guys might already have the Warrior X Pro. So I have the Warrior X3 here at the bottom, and I have the Warrior X Pro in OD green right here in the middle, and the Warrior X Pro right here in the Desert Sunset color. So let's go ahead and start with the back. So the milling on the tail cap, it's totally different, guys. So you can see here on the Warrior X3, you have these little cutouts right here. On the Warrior X Pro, it has these big rectangles on the tail cap. So the actual design on the tail cap itself is completely different. Another big difference is the Warrior X Pro is not compatible with our lock-on remote switch. So you can see here on the Warrior X3, it's got this little cutout right here and this section for the remote switch to actually lock onto right here. It's just smooth and it has this little lip, and it's only built to be used with your thumb. So that's a huge advantage of the Warrior X3. If you ever want to use it on a rifle or anything like that, you can actually do that confidently with the Warrior X3 and the lock-on remote switch. The next major physical difference that I want to show you guys is here on the head. So if we start here with the collar, again, you're going to have these little cutouts here going around right there, and then on the Warrior X Pro, again, it's going to have these large rectangular cutouts. So once again, the design on the tail cap and the collar right here is completely different. The next thing I want to take a look at is the heat sinks themselves. You can probably tell already how rounded off and just nice they are on the Warrior X3, whereas on the Warrior X Pro, they're not chamfered whatsoever and definitely not as nice to the touch. So I'd say just the machining in general is just highly refined on the Warrior X3 and a much better experience for you when you're holding this on a regular basis. The next thing I want to show you guys is the front bezel. That's a huge difference between these two. So the Warrior X3 only has 3 sections here that stick out, whereas on the Warrior X Pro, you're actually going to have 5. So there's more teeth on the Warrior X Pro compared to the Warrior X3, but the 3 has a huge advantage, and that is that on each 3 of these points, it's going to have a zirconium ball embedded into the actual bezel to make it a glass breaker. So you're able to actually easily break glass with the Warrior X3. You were not able to do that with the Warrior X Pro. So beyond just the design refinements on the Warrior X3, it's compatible with the lock-on remote switch, and it has a glass breaker there on the front, whereas this doesn't have any of that. Now, beyond all of those refinements to the Warrior X3, the overall design language is pretty much the same. So we didn't design something completely different. We just refined it, gave it more performance, and also gave it more functionality as well. The biggest thing you need to pay attention to is the weight. So the weight on the Warrior X Pro is 8.43 ounces. The weight on the Warrior X3 is 8 8.99 ounces. So a little bit over half an ounce heavier on the Warrior X3. Part of that is having the zirconium balls there on the front and also the lock-on remote switch functionality right here. That's more material, more going on with the light, so it's a little bit heavier. In terms of the length, it's pretty much the same. So we have 5.87 inches on the Warrior X Pro, and it's 5.89 inches on the Warrior X3. Everything else is pretty much the same. You got a 1-inch body diameter, so it works well with our 1-inch mount for rifles, but you can use it with any other 1-inch mount that you might prefer. In terms of performance, of course, this has 2,500 lumens compared to the 2,100 lumens on here. You've got a 560 meter beam distance compared to the 500 meters, and on the Warrior X3, the candela is 78,000 compared to 62,500. So you're going to have a much higher intensity level at long distance compared to the Warrior X Pro. So similar design language, but you're getting a lot more features, better performance, better run times. I think it's absolutely a worthy upgrade.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this overview video of the brand new Warrior X3.
We talked about how it's a better design, more features, better performance, and on top of that, you can get up to 40% off today and tomorrow only on these in this OD green color and the black. One of those bundles actually includes the remote switch and the mount there for a rifle. If you want to mount this, that's an awesome deal at that 40% off. And there's other bundles with additional flashlights as well. All you got to do is just check out the website. The link is in the description below.
But before you guys head over to the website to grab yours, don't forget we're giving one away in the color of your choice in this video. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave us a comment below letting us know what your favorite feature of the Warrior X3 is.
This is such an awesome compact tactical thrower. A flashlight like this needs to be in your lineup, considering the fact that it has the glass breaker functionality and the self-defense style ring right here. This should at least be left in the center console of your car, the glove box, something like that. If you're not going to use it on a regular basis, this is an excellent survival tool. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Go grab yours now while they're discounted and before the prices go up. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.